So here what we have, this one is that. So I ask you to just write all these another
Yes,
three basic ratios with this triangle. Okay, that is what we have for
yes,
the sine, cos, tan. Now what will happen? Uh, so as I already told you, there are like three basic familiar angles. No, so 30 degrees one, 45 degrees one, 60 degrees one, and 90 degrees one. All
yes,
these
teacher.
angles, we normally use those ones frequently. So then we should be able to, like, my suggestion is actually, if someone asks like sine 30, then you should be like recall and remember what is the value. It's easy for you to, when you when you do all these questions, it's easy for you. Just remember these four, at least these four main angles ratios. I'm not saying that to by heart, but once you do more and
Yes,
more questions, you will be able to automatically recall these ones. So how we normally
okay.
denote, or how we normally calculate these ones, if it's 45 degrees now, anyway, we should draw the right angle triangle, no? So,
Yes,
what will happen here? One angle would be 90 degrees. Then the other two will be 45 and 45. Okay. So,
yes,
because the internal angles, I mean interior angles should equals to 180. Because of that, we have 45, 45 and 90. If this one is 1 unit, this one also 1 unit. If these two are by 1 unit now, then what would be the value for height? From the Pythagoras theorem, from the Pythagoras theorem, what you can do? You can calculate the length of this height. Harida, that is
yes,
1 squared plus 1 squared give complete square root. That would be square root 2. That's how we got the square root 2 value. Is it clear?
yes, teacher.
Then what we can do so now we have this triangle, and also we can draw another angle. We can draw another triangle, actually, right angle triangle, to calculate the 30, 60, 90 degrees as well. If one angle is 30 degrees, then the other one would be 60 degrees, and the last one would be anyway right angle. Right angle means it is 90 degrees. Okay.
Yes, teacher.
Now what will happen for the units? We assume that this one has 1 and this one has square root 3. And then by using the Pythagoras theorem, we can calculate the value for height. That is how 1 squared plus square root 3 squared get complete square root. Then what will happen here? 1 squared is 1 plus square root 3 squared means anyway 3. 1 plus 3 complete square root, that means square root of 4, that means 2. Okay, that's how we
Yes,
got the value for this height as 2. Now, according to the 30, 45, 60, and 90 degrees, what you can do? You can get all the sine, cos, tan values as well.
yes, teacher.
Okay. Can you just calculate these values by yourself? That's the only thing to do from this exact values part. Then I'll move to the third one. It's clear, right?
Okay,
Up to
teacher.
this point, whatever I just like doing kind of a little bit speed, but can manageable, right?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, okay, okay. So just do it by yourself. Draw these two angles, these two right angle triangles, and then calculate these 30, 45, 60, 90 degrees by yourself.
Okay, teacher.
And then we'll move to the what we call the solving part. Yes. So Pythagoras theorem, you know, right? So how it
Yes, teacher.
works. So here if it's right angle like this, then the length, if I mark the what we call the points as A, B, C, then how the Pythagoras theorem works, AB, the length of AB squared plus length of BC squared is equals to the length of AC squared as well. Okay, that's how the Pythagoras theorem works. Okay, now do it. Anyway, I'll be sending this entire note to you. So because of that,
Okay,
it's
teacher.
also fine. But have you done these ones in school? I mean, the radians, whatever we call radians degrees conversion, and then this is the
Yes, teacher.
pattern, right? These are the topics they also covered, right?
Yes, teacher.
Oh. And
Okay, teacher.
okay, done. Okay.
Yes, teacher.
Now that part is done. So let me erase this one and move to the solving part. Here. Now, here what we have is solving trigonometric equations. So the next important part is this. So to can actually for solving these trigonometric equations, we should know about quadrants. Okay, since if a single point, I mean the angle around this entire point, it would be 360. No? So
Yes, teacher.
by using that as the base, here we have four quadrants. So quadrants, when it comes to quadrants, how it measures, that is this one is from this one is 0 degrees. From here to here we have 90 degrees. From here to here we have 180 degrees.
100.
Sorry, oh yes, 180 degrees. From here to here we have 270
Two.
degrees. Again, from up until here we have 360 degrees as well. So what
Yes,
we
teacher.
normally do, these are the all four quadrants what we have. So when it comes to quadrants, that means actually in here, what will happen? All the ratios, I mean sine, cos, tan, all
Yes,
three
teacher.
ratios are positive values. All
Yes,
three ratios are positive values. But here, if it's the second quadrant, okay, this is the first quadrant, this is the second quadrant, this is the third quadrant, second, third, and this is the fourth quadrant. Now, what will happen in here in second quadrant? There only sine value will be positive. But sine is positive, but cos and tan both are
negative.
negative. But in third one, tan will be positive. Okay, tan will be positive. That means both sine and cos will be negative. But for the fourth one, again, only cos will be positive. Only cos angle, cos ratio will be positive. If the angle is in this, the cos value will be positive. But the other two, that means the sine and the tan, those two are negative. How I remember this one, by the like it's a phrase. Those days also we also used all St. Thomas College. All stands
Okay.
for all three all three ratios are positive. Here only S is there for the second quadrant. That means only sign is positive. Here Thomas stands for T for Thomas. Then there T stands for actually tan. Okay. Then here we have C means cos. C means cos. Only cos will be positive. The other two angles will be negative.
Okay.
Okay. So that is the method how I recall about the quadrants.
Yes, teacher.
First draw this one as well. Put the third note, third topic as solving trigonometric equations.
Teacher, what should I write after that?
Yes. Once you write the solving trigonometric equations, draw this one and mark the four quadrants with the angles 0, 90, 180, 370, and 300, sorry, 270 and 360. And then
Okay,
marked those four quadrants as first, second, third, and fourth, and the positive ratios as well. Make a note of that. Before we are moving to the solving part, we have to have a another what we call the quadrants. We have to have an idea about these quadrants.
okay, teacher.
Okay, that is done. Now we are going to solve these basic equations. Now what will happen? The first question is they have given us, they have, let me open the paint so that I can write it. Paint, and I'll just minimize this, make it like this. And for the paint, yes, it's opened. Okay. Now what will happen? Now what will happen here? So the first question, now we are going to solve, you can't see my both screens now. Let me share
Yes,
my,
teacher.
let me share my both screens. Okay. So now what will happen? Okay. So the first question, what we have, what they have given to us is solve sine x is equals to half. So x should lie in between 0 to 360. So how are you gonna find out the, so solve means anyway, we have to find out the values for this x now. Ethakota, so x can be either the first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant. But the issue is how we gonna find, how we gonna calculate this type of a, this type of an equation, and how we gonna find out the value for x. What do you think? Anyway, the first thing you have to do is, first you have to select where we have this x. Because here they have given sine x, no? Sine x is equals to
Yes, teacher.
half. Sine x is equals to half means half is a positive value. Now what you have to think, according to the quadrant, I mean four quadrants, all St. Thomas College, they have given sine x is equals to half. That means this angle, this x angle can be, this x angle can be either in first quadrant or else second quadrant.
Second.
Yes, those are the only two positions this angle can be happen. Correct. Now what
Yes,
will
teacher.
happen? Now what will happen? First, we can find out the first quadrant value. Anyway, if it's first quadrant value now, it's easy because sin x is equals to half. Then we know that x is equals to sine inverse half. Okay, sine inverse half. Sine inverse half means actually that is 30 degrees. Correct. That means that angle is in somewhere around here. This is that angle, 30 degrees angle, because we always measure those angles with the positive x-axis, right? So positive
Yes,
x-axis
teacher.
means always the angles would be, we are calculating that one in anti-clockwise method, no? So එතකොට මෙතන we have this 30 degrees angle from here to here. That is the first quadrant angle. Okay, one solution is
Yes,
x is equals to 30. But this x can lie in the second quadrant as well. How we gonna find out that value? That angle. How we gonna find out that angle? How we gonna find out that angle? So this is the standard angle. Then what we can do, we can mark the reference angles. Reference angles means all these reference angles should mark it through the x-axis. So here if it's 30 degrees now, from this side also, we can mark this 30 degrees. Okay. Now what will
yes,
happen? This is the reference angle of this 30 degrees. But you have to calculate the standard angle always from the positive x-axis. No? That means you should measure this angle from here to here. That means
yes,
the
teacher.
other value is x is equals to 180 minus 30 degrees. So 180 minus 30 degrees means what? That is
150.
150 degrees. That's the easy method we can calculate these ones. Is it
Yes,
clear
teacher.
for you?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. So can you do,
So, teacher,
yeah.
teacher, can X have two values then?
Here we have exact two values only. Why? The reason is one angle would be in first quadrant, the second angle would be in second quadrant. Those are the two possible situations we can have. That means from 0 to 360 within this domain, we can have only two angles. One solution will
Yes,
be
teacher.
x is equals to 30 degrees. The other solution will be x is equals to 150.
Okay, teacher.
Okay, that's how it is.
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Once
Teachers, we
you,
can't have a unique value.
no, we can't have a unique value. So here, normally what we do, if it's, so for this quadrant term, we measure it as x degrees. So for
Yes,
this, if that angle lies in what we call, for the second quadrant term, that would be, the actual standard angle would be 180 degrees minus x angle. Okay,
yes,
so
teacher.
if let's assume that angle lies in third quadrant as well කියලා. එහෙම වුණොත්, if it's so, then this angle, how we gonna find out this angle is, that is 180 plus x. Okay, so if that
Yes,
angle
teacher.
lies in fourth quadrant, that means we can calculate the value or the magnitude of that angle from 360 minus x. So actually these ones are coming like this. Then here we mark 30, no? So for this
Yes,
30
teacher.
degree, we can have three reference angles. So one reference angle is here. The other two reference angles are these two. මේ පැත්තටත් you can understand Sinhala, right? I mean,
Yes,
words.
teacher.
Okay. So here what will happen? Uh, so we can mark the four reference angles like this according to all these four quadrants. So, but the thing is here for the standard angles now always we are calculating or the we are finding that angle from positive x-axis now. මෙතන ඉඳන්ම යන්න
Yes,
එපා.
teacher.
But for the reference angles, we can calculate those angles either from negative or positive side. But only thing would be it should start like this. X-axis එකත් එක්ක හදන එක තමයි we should know. And also it should be like this origin එකත් එක්ක. So here එහෙනම් we have the reference angle for this side that is 30. The other reference angle would be 30 degrees like this. So when it comes to these reference angles, all these reference angles should be from 0 to 90. සුළු කෝණයක් විදිහට තමයි from 0 to 90 degrees only, all these three angles would be there. Four reference angles would be there. Now, according to that, we can calculate the standard ones. Standard ones are, if here we have x angle, then this would be 180 minus this x. If that
Yes,
angle lies in third quadrant, that means 180. මෙතනට වෙනකම් we have 180 and then we should add this x. That's how we get as 180 plus x. If it's in last quadrant, that means 360 minus x. That means
yes,
that means for the entire angle, it would be 360. Out of that, we need to subtract this x. That is 360 minus x. But here in this case, we don't wanted to consider about the third and the fourth ones. We can only calculate. We can pay our attention to only this first and the second quadrant. Why? The reason is actually because a sign value is positive. That means it should be either in first quadrant or second quadrant. Okay,
yes, teacher.
that's the whole story.
Yes, teacher.
If you
Okay,
are
teacher.
clear on this, just do this one and then can you find out, can you work on this example 2 as well?
Okay, teacher.
Okay. If there's anything not clear, just ask from me. No problem. Stop me at any time and ask from me. That's totally fine.
Okay.
Hello? What happened? So, were you able to figure out, or is it clear? Is it
Mm,
clear?
not much, teacher.
Not much. Okay, very good. Not much.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, so what happened with the first one? So if it's then already first one, now if I explain you the steps again, this is the equation what we have called sin x is equals to half
Yes,
0 x and 360. That means solve means actually we need to find out the values for x. So now,
yes,
before calculating this one, what we have to know is where this x angle lies. So where this x angle lies, since sine value is positive, that means it can be either first quadrant and also it can be either second quadrant as well. These are
yes,
the
teacher.
only two possible places or quadrants where this x angle can lie. Correct. Then what will happen? So now the first quadrant solution now we can find it, right? So because it's always positive, we can calculate it generally. Sin x is equals to half. That means x is equals to sine inverse half. Sine inverse half means 30 degrees.
Yes,
That's how it is. What about the second quadrant angle value? Second quadrant angle value. Okay, we'll do like this. If this first quadrant angle is x, to that, the respective second quadrant angle is 180 minus x. You
yes,
just remember like that. Okay, for the third quadrant now, if that angle lies in third quadrant now, that would be 180 plus x. If it's in fourth quadrant, that means we can have 360 minus x. Now see,
yes,
we found the value for x now. We found the value
yes,
for
teacher.
x. That means x is equals to 30. So now, what would be the second quadrant angle? Second quadrant angle is 180 minus
80
30 degrees.
minus.
Yes,
Yes, teacher.
that means 150. If this
Yes,
satisfy this condition, the third quadrant angle would be 180 plus 30. And the fourth quadrant angle would be 360 minus 30. But we have to refuse or we have to neglect or refuse these two angles because the sin x value is positive only in first quadrant and the second quadrant. Here now, though the final answers would be x is equals to 30 degrees and the other one would be 150 degrees within this given domain. Is it a little bit clear now? What do you feel?
yes, teacher.
Okay, so let's do the second one also together. So now the second question is cos x is equals to minus 1 over 5. Now let me move to this side. So then the second question. So what will happen with the second question? So the second question is actually cos x is equals to minus 1 over square root 5. They have asked us to find the cos value from 0 to 360. Now what will happen? So you have to mark the quadrant. All St. Thomas College. So cos value is minus means it can be either where? It can be either the second quadrant as well as It can be either the third quadrant as well. These are the all two possible situations which we can have. Now what we can do? Anyway, we can solve this one. That is cos x is equals to minus 1 over square root 5. Okay. Then we can find
Yes,
out the value of x. That is cos inverse. Okay. Cos inverse minus 1 over 5.
yes, teacher.
Okay, cos inverse minus 1 over 5. If you check for this, if you get the value for this, minus 1 over square root 5. If you calculate, if you read the value from the log table, you can find the x value. Okay, you can find out the x angle as 63.43. 435 somewhere like this. Okay. So you
Okay,
can
teacher.
read this value directly from the what we call the from the logbook. Now, now we can
Teacher, how do we check minus 1 over root 5?
minus 1 over root 5. Now, let me open a logbook. Let me open a logbook. Logbook, there we have only positive values now. So for the log,
Yes, teacher.
we have only positive values. So what will happen here? If it's minus, okay, if it's good question. So how should I tell it to you? Okay, we'll do like this. Mm, okay, all are positive, here all are negative, and this one is 1 over sine. Let me check for the cost table first because it's for the cost value table, it would be like this. Okay, so log tables. Okay, now what will happen? Okay, now what will happen? So that is actually from what we call we that is actually yes, we can say like this. Okay, so now tell me what is the value for cos 30? Cos 30
Root
is
3
anyway,
over 2.
yes, root what we have is 2 over root 3, right?
3.
No, uh,
Root 3 over 2.
root 3 over 2. Okay, that's what here we have for the cos 30 root 3 over 2. Okay, now what is the value for cos minus 30? If it's the negative angle, what is the value for that?
2 over root 3.
No. So actually, these two are equal in cos values. So that means uh, I don't know whether in all levels have you learned that cos theta is equals to cos minus theta or something like that? No,
No, teacher.
no. Okay. Then what we have, there's a relationship in between these two. Always cos theta value is equals to cos minus theta as well. The reason is, see here all the, by looking at these quadrants, so the first quadrant, all these values are positive, no? That means cos also
Yes,
positive. What will happen with the fourth quadrant? Fourth quadrant, again cos value is
city.
again cos value is positive. So let's assume Okay, let's assume we just mark this 30 angle like this. This is the positive 30 angle. Now, if I mark this negative 30 angle, that would be like this, no? Okay, so here we have the positive 30 angles because always if it's standard angle now, it should be measured with the anti-clockwise. Correct. Now
Yes.
what will happen here for the this side? Now what will happen for the negative one? Negative one would be clockwise. Okay, clockwise. Then we can mark it like this. Now for cos values of these two are, what will happen? These two values are equal. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, teacher.
Now that means cos x is equals to minus 1 over 5. No? Okay, if cos x value is equals to minus 1 over 5, that means anyway this value is equals to what? Cos x is equals to what we can do? We can first what we can do? We can first find out the value for positive 1. That means cos x is equals to 1 over square root 5. First, we
Yes.
can calculate the value for the first quadrant, and then by using these relationships in between these ones, we can find out the value for the angle value for second quadrant as well as third quadrant. That's the method normally we use. That means, for example, if it's minus 1 over square root 5, we can't find out the minus values. Then what we do, we just find out the positive value. We just find out the respective angle for positive value. That is, if cos x is equals to 1 over square root 5, what would be the value for x? Then the x value will be cos inverse 1 over square root 5. That is positive. Then you can see you will get the answer as 63.435. Okay, 63.435. That means this angle, if cos x is 1 over 5, 1 over square root 5 kilogram, it would be in first quadrant. No? So that means that
Yes.
angle will be somewhere around here. 63.435. Now, if we calculate the respective second, third, and fourth quadrant values, here we have to calculate 180 minus x. Now the x value is 63.435. If it's in third quadrant, that means 180 plus x. That means 180 plus 63.435. Here we have 360 minus x. That means 360 minus 63.435.
Yes,
Out
teacher.
of all these values, we have to select the final answers as the angle what is available in second quadrant and the third quadrant only. Why? What's the reason? Because in the question, they have given that cos x is equals to minus 1 over square root 5. එතකොට, the angle should be either in second quadrant or third quadrant. Is it clear the whole story?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. So can you just do those two by yourself? And then we'll move.
Okay.
Anyway, I'll give you the recording as well so that Let me know once you are done.
Sure, teacher. Okay, teacher.
Okay, it's clear, right?
Yes, teacher. Yes, teacher.
Can you do the third one? Third one and the fourth one.
Okay, teacher.
So anyway, for the third one now, we know that if sin x is equals to 3q hammer, there won't be any solutions because sin x, anyway, the sine and the cosine values both are
Yes, teacher.
lie in between -1 and +1. Okay, if it's sine x is equals to 3, it won't happen. Because of that, there are no solutions for this condition or the equation. That's the reason there. It's clear, right? Means for the sin x now, always all the sin x values. We will be discussing that one in graphing part as well, trigonometric graphing part as well. So for the sin x now, sin x should be in between -1 and +1. That's how it works. And also, cos value also, cos x also in between, cos x also in between -1 and +1. Okay, that's how it works. Because of that, here for the third question, there's no any solutions. And let's do for the okay. So you just write this one and then try to do fourth one. Fourth one is
Okay.
tan. So that is actually tan x is equals to -5. So tan x can be -5. Just try to solve this one. This x should
Okay.
be in 0 to 360. Yeah, that's how it is.
Okay, teacher.
Okay. So what happened
Yes,
with
teacher.
tan x? Were you able to find out were you get that x value is equals to
Yes, teacher.
these two? Okay, it's clear, right?
Yes, teacher.
Okay.
Yes, teacher. Teacher,
Oh,
I
that
took it to 2 decimal points. Is it fine, teacher?
yes, yes. Two decimal points is fine. That means
Okay, teacher.
38.69 again. 69 also you can anyway at
Yes,
the
teacher.
exam during the exam or එක degree එකක් not එක degree එකක් what we call එකක්
Yes,
plus or minus when you will get the marks. It's like that. So
okay, teacher.
range එකක් තියෙනවා පොඩ්ඩක් වෙනස් වුණාට anyway you will get the final marks. That is set. So there they have mentioned a note, all trigonometric equations we will meet can be reduced to problems like those above. So the only differences are the solutions could be required in radians. Now remember, so for all the solutions, trigonometric solutions, we should keep those solutions in radians. In this case, the question will not have a degree symbol. In this case, the question will not have any degree symbol. For example, it would be like 3 tan x is equals to 1. That means you should know this question is in radian formats. 3 tan x is equals to 1. Likewise. See, so that means here, see the difference. Here we have this degree mark, okay, x degree mark, but here they don't have that point. They don't have that degree part. That means for this one now, x measures in radians, but here for this expression, x measures in what we call the degrees. Is it clear? So first you should
Yes, teacher.
identify that. And then exact value solutions could be required in the non-calculator paper. You will be expected anyway in our systems now the calculators are not allowed no. So because of that
Yes,
anyway
teacher.
you have to use the log tables and read the final value. So that's it. There are like few questions. I'll explain you these questions. You just do these ones as homework and I'll move
Okay,
to the
teacher.
next theory. So here that
Okay,
earlier we had sin x is equals to half and cos x was equals to 1 over square root 5 likewise. But here
yes,
what
teacher.
they have given 2 sin 2x is 2 sin 2x minus 1 is equals to 0. හැබැයි කළත් කමක් නැහැ. Can you try this? I'll
Okay,
give
teacher.
guidance. So here, yeah, I'll give the guidance. So here, let's assume we have 2 sin 2x minus 1 is equals to 0. What do you think? What would be the first step we need to take?
Make sign the subject.
Yes, yes, very good. So we should make this sign as subject. That means sin 2x should equals to anyway half, right? And
Yes, teacher.
then remember here they have given 2x angle. හොඳේ? මෙතන තියෙන
Yes, teacher.
කෙලින්ම they have given 2x angle. So
Mm-hmm.
once you get the inverse and find out the value, there we will receive what? For the 2x. Actually, 2x angle is sine inverse half. Sine inverse half
Yes,
means
teacher.
30. Sine inverse half means 30. That means 2x is equals to 30.
Yes, teacher.
Now, what are the other reference angles? Other reference angles are 180 minus 30, 180 plus 30. The last one would be 360 minus 30.
Minus.
Yes.
Yes, teacher.
Then what will happen? Here we will get 150. Here we will get 210. And then
Yes,
we
teacher.
have 330. But for the sign, they have given a positive value. No, that means
Yes,
it
teacher.
can be either first quadrant or the second quadrant.
Second quadrant.
Yes,
Yes,
that
teacher.
means what will happen now? One solution will be x is equals to 15. Okay, because
Yes,
2x
teacher.
is equals to 30, that means x is equals to 15. That is accepted. The other accepted one is here 2x we have 115. That means
Yes, teacher.
x can be either 75.
75.
From the second method, we can accept this one. Okay.
Yes, teacher.
Nah, that's the method. And also, again, they have given like x is in between 0 to 316, which means we can check with this one as well because here we receive 210. 210 means x is equals to 155. 155 also, again, what will happen? Again, it will be, we can, no, we can't have that. Yes. So it can be either x is equals to 15 or 75. We
Yes,
can't have more because then the 2x angle will be negative and then the quadrant issues are there. So because of that, we can't have. So x is either 15 or either 75. Okay. That's how it is. Okay, you do all these, I mean the fifth one and the sixth one also as homework, 7, 8, all these ones as homework. And then, since we have like few minutes, shall I, okay. For the three dimensions now, in our syllabus, in your syllabus, I think we don't have three-dimensional angles. Do we have? No, right? No. I don't think you have three dimensionals. So that means this one you won't get. So you can do these ones. You can do these ones up until you can do these ones up until this question as homework. Try all these ones. And then for I think for your syllabus, we don't have these three-dimensional angles. So because
no,
of
teacher.
this fourth one, no need to like fourth one, no need to pay our attention. We can like remove that part. So I'll complete this compound angles also, and then we'll wrap it up so that you can work on these ones. And then if you have like enough time, if you have like let's assume we have like 3 hours during the weekends also, then let me know. I can
Yes, teacher.
I just need like 1 or 2 days only, 1 or 2 sessions to complete the entire trigonometry part. Then I can
Okay, teacher.
cover the entire thing. Okay. So here
Okay, teacher.
for the compound angles, so compound angles also, it's really important. What will happen with these compound angles? Because these ones you will be using for initiatives as well. එතකොට අර සුළු කරන්න, in Sinhala we call them as sarvasamyan කියලා කියන්නේ. So you have to prove these ones. Those equations or the initiatives are always true කියලා you need to solve.
Yes, teacher.
For all these ones actually, we have to use this compound angles. So compound angles means normally when we add or subtract angles, compound means we can't have one. Actually, it would be kind of a combination. Either the minimum number of angles would be 2. It can be either 2 or more. Compound. ඔක්කොම එකට එකතු වෙලා. So those angles, what will happen when we add or subtract angles? The result is a compound angle. Let's assume we have like two separate angles A and B. Then if we add these two together, then we have A plus B as the compound angle. If we have the difference, if we take the subtraction of these two angles, then we have A minus B. Again, we have a compound angle. Okay, so for these kind of angles, we call them as compound angles. That's how
Yes,
it.
teacher.
Now what will happen? For example, 45 plus 30, 45 degrees plus 30 degrees, it's a compound angle. So actually the value would be 75. 75, we can rewrite it with as 45 plus 35. See, we can write this as addition of two angles. Because of that, this 75, if we wrote it like 45 plus 35, then it would be compound angle. Using
Yes,
a
teacher.
calculator, we find, see, sine 45 plus 30 is equals to sine 75. So then you can read the value from the logbook itself, that is 0.966. Here we have, okay, so what will happen? The first thing you should know is these two are not equal actually. These two means sine 45 plus 30 is not equal to sine 45 plus sine 30. Okay. These two, if we like, though it's compound angles, sine 45 plus 30 degrees is not equal to sine 45. Again, separate angles වල separate sine values වල addition එකට it won't equal. Same as that, if we take the subtract sine 45 minus 30, again it's not equals to sine 45 minus sine 30. That is it. Okay. Now
Yes,
what
teacher.
will happen? So that's what here they have mentioned. This shows that sine A plus B is not equal. See, is not equal to sine A plus sine B. Instead of that, we can use the following identities. These are few identities which we can have. Identities means these ones are already proved. අපිට without any proofs we can use these ones. ඒ කියන්නේ හිතන්නකෝ කොහේ හරි තැනක we have sin a minus b, a plus b කියලා. Instead of that a plus b, anywhere we can use this expression. It's always true. It's always true one. That identity. සර්ව
Okay.
සාම්‍යයන් කියලා කියනවා in Sinhala. හරි. So what we
Yes,
have,
teacher.
these equations, these identities actually you should remember, because for our A levels we are not getting equations to, so because of that, by working on these questions you should be able to like recall these ones, how it happens. So what are those identities actually? If I minimize this like this and take the new page, that is sine a plus b is equals to sine A cos B plus cos A sin B. That is the first.
Yes, teacher.
And then sine A minus B, that is sine A. Again the same thing, but earlier we had the addition, now we have the subtraction. Sine A cos B minus cos A sin B. ඒක නිකන් අර කියවද්දිම you will recall. These are the two sine compound angles. Then we have the cos one. So for the cos one it is, if it is A plus B, that means cos A cos B. Now the sign changed. Cos A cos B minus sin A sin B. And if it's cos A minus, if it's cos A minus B, that means we have cos A cos B plus Sine A, sine B. Those are the four compound angles we have. Okay, that is it.
Okay, teacher.
Then if we go with this, is it clear up to this point?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. So now if I do kind of an example, let's say we can write in short like this, plus or minus කියලා කියන එක දාලා we can write like this. So if I go to the first question, that is first one is cos x plus 60. Then if they ask us to expand this, how we gonna expand this? Here cos and plus, no? Then we should remember cos x cos 60 minus, then the sign got changed, cos x cos 60 minus sin x sin 60 as well. So then you have to substitute the values. Cos x, there's no any substitution for cos x, but for the cos 60, we have 1 over 2, half, minus sine x, you should put the degrees, okay? So here I'm not putting it, but you should keep. See here, all these angles have been measured in degrees because they have put this or a dot tag. So here we have
Okay,
sine x, and sine 60 means square root 3 over 2. Then if you write the expanded expression like this, the final one would be half cos x minus square root 3 over 2 sin x. That's how it is. Is it clear for the compound ones?
yes, teacher.
Okay. So now what you have to do here is actually, can you try the examples what they have given under this one as well as homework? I mean, that
Okay,
means,
teacher.
let me save it. So these ones, homework, just try. I'll send you this entire tute as well. Homework. Yes, okay. Then, okay, we have only three, no? So you can just do up until here. Just go through all the examples of these ones, and I'll send you another tute so that you can
Yes,
do the
teacher.
workings on that tute as well. Whatever they have
Okay,
given
teacher.
on that tute, we have the question as well as the answer. So you do it and then check with the answers. If there's any doubts, we can discuss next day. Okay, then we'll start
Okay,
with
teacher.
this finding trigonometric ratios. Anyway, we already did these ones. From that part next day onwards, and the double angles formulas. That's all. I mean, you can easily get this. No need to worry about that. Okay.
Okay, teacher.
Okay, then for today we can wrap it up. Then see you on next day. I'll send you this one through the WhatsApp now. And the
Okay, teacher.
recorded one also, I'll send the link once I upload it to the session. Okay?
Okay, teacher.
Okay, thank you so much for joining.
Okay,
See you
thank you,
on next
teacher.
day.
Good night,
Okay,
teacher.
good night. Night.